If you've ever walked through Alberobello, you will have definitely seen these symbols on the roofs of the Trulli. Most people take photos and don't really understand what's going on there. Today, let's change that. E ovviamente facciamo in inglese e anche italiano per imparare inglese. Io sono Prof Pritchett, insegnante madrelingua dall'Inghilterra, e qui in questo canale usiamo luoghi reali e anche le storie italiane per capire come funziona l'inglese. Quindi siamo qui per imparare inglese in un modo naturale e anche, spero, divertente. Quindi oggi siamo in Alberobello per capire cosa significa queste cose qui. Truly wonderful. Truly wonderful. Truly terrible, that joke, but had to be done. They're gorgeous. I mean, you could get lost in them so easily. The thing is they all look similar, but they're all beautiful. Look at this little good number as well. I just feel that I know that Italians appreciate what they have, and I mean, I don't know what these symbols mean, but I'm very intrigued to find out. These symbols are not decorations. They were painted on the roofs for a reason. Many of them had a protective meaning. Some of the symbols are religious. These here, for example, are linked to Christianity. These 6 here that we can find. These others up here are more primitive. We're talking more pagan. Some of them I feel like I can sort of figure out what they're about. And luckily, whilst I was there, I managed to pick up these little pieces of paper. The interesting thing that we have here is that this talks about the Trulli. We have a little bit of background about them, and it's the exact same piece of paper, but one is in Italian and one is the translation in English, and I thought that might be something interesting that we could look at together. I also had the opportunity to stay inside a Trullo, so we'll be looking at all of this together, both from inside and outside, as I walk around and we study what these things mean. Okay, maybe now the moment you've all been waiting for. Should I have a look inside one? That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Let's have a look, just make sure it's this one. Yeah, it is. So there's these beautiful dome shapes, and inside these Trulli there are also, which you can stay in, because I am, you can also get a nice log fire. Well, this is a gas fire, but it's nice. Everything is done in miniature. So there's a little mini kitchen over here in the corner with these tiny little windows. And then also, if we go in here, there wouldn't have been a bathroom in the original, but they've made a tiny little bathroom here. Still managed to fit a bidet, because it is Italy. And then tiny little windows. Iniziamo con questa prima qui. Quindi abbiamo croce ad albero che unisce i 3 mondi, celeste, terreno e degli inferi. Okay, pretty simple. But let's actually see what the translation has come out as on this piece of paper. Tree cross. Okay, abbiamo croce ad albero. Feels like a cross made from a tree or a cross of the tree. Could be a cross or it could be branches. That joins 3 words, che unisce i 3 mondi. So, first mistake that we have here on this sheet of paper, 3 worlds. Mi serve un L qui, per favore, ma non c'è. Effettivamente abbiamo words, parole, but it should be 3 worlds, 3 mondi. Also, to join è come raggiungere, quindi unire meglio per usare come unite. È la parola più vicino, quindi ha senso per usare quello. Quindi to unite the 3 worlds, invece abbiamo that joins 3 words. celeste. So abbiamo qui heavenly one. Heaven è paradiso, quindi heavenly è l'aggettivo, and one significa uno o qualcuno, qualcosa in questo senso. Quindi stiamo nominando i tre mondi. The heavenly one, quello di paradiso, che qui in italiano è scritto celeste. The worldly one, che abbiamo terreno. I would translate that more as the earthly one, della terra. The worldly one è... Noi usiamo questo aggettivo, per esempio, worldly, per dire che conosce tante cose del mondo. For example, if you've done a lot of travel around the world, you would probably be worldly because you've experienced many things. Instead, this is of the earth is what we're looking for. So I would say earthly, the earthly one. E degli inferi, and the Hades. So Hades is actually a very specific translation of underworld, which is more closely related to the ancient Greeks, really. You'd think of Hercules going to Hades. Instead, we could say the underworld, but again, that sounds a little bit ancient Greek to us. So it could be, for example, hell. But again, there are, is it 7 circles of hell or so many? I'm not really sure on the geography of hell, but in general in English we just call it one. There are circles within it, but it's one. I could maybe, to try and keep that one, which we've lost here, say the hellish one. Quindi usiamo hellish come l'aggettivo qui.
Just looking at these here, I'm pretty sure that they're all individually made. They look like big, thick pieces of... I shouldn't knock too hard because that could be someone's abode for this evening, as it is mine. But oh, and the lights come on, that's nice, modern. And yeah, you can see there's still some of them are in repair. They're trying to build them. But they're everywhere. The streets are absolutely lined with them, and it's very beautiful. It's a wonderful thing to be around all of these amazing structures. Like everywhere you look, there's another one. That's one with a garage. Check that out. Didn't think I'd see that. One with a garage.
So it's just interesting here that we have the names of the planets, because obviously they're also the names of the gods. So we've got simbolo di Saturno, Saturn symbol, simbolo di Mercurio, symbol of Mercury, tridente significata la Trinità. Sono in dubbio se significa la Trinità. I think a trident, if these are magic symbols, this is Poseidon or Neptune, probably, especially since we've got Saturn and Mercury. Surely we also have Neptune, another god, another planet, and simbolo di Giove, which is Jupiter's symbol. So an interesting thing, of course, is the days of the week, as I'm sure you've probably seen on other channels speaking about English as well, is that we have Saturday di Saturnio, so that's Saturn's day basically. In Italia ovviamente abbiamo Domenica, which for us is Sunday, quindi è il giorno del sole. Monday and lunedì è uguale, quindi abbiamo il giorno della luna. It's the moon day. Monday, moon day. Lunedì, il giorno della luna. And then we have here Mercury, quindi mercoledì. Except for us in English, we wouldn't say, as you know, probably we say Wednesday, which would be Woden's day. So we are then going to our ancient Nordic, our Viking roots, or ancient Germanic roots there. And then we have Giove, which would be Giovedì, and again for us would be Thor. Thor would be our god, so Thursday. So that's some interesting things, that there's so much mystery and history enveloped together between these two languages in these amazing places such as the Trulli. And that's it really. I hope that you enjoyed this little sort of historic and grammatic trip with vocabulary into these Trulli. It's a fascinating place. If you've never been to Alberobello, I recommend it absolutely. And that's all. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this video, if it was interesting, where you'd like me to go next. And of course, I'll be continuing with prepositions in the future as well. Please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Voglio sapere esattamente cosa pensate. Grazie mille, ci vediamo prossima volta. Ciao for now.